Hey there, this is Lexi. Today I'm going to do another series spotlight video, which is pretty much my version of a series recommendation. And the series I wanted to talk about is called Children of the Whales. I currently have Volume 1 and Volume 2. So the first volume was published near the end of November, which means it's a pretty new series, and Volume 2 came out in January. Volume 3 is actually set out to come out later this month, and I will definitely be buying that too. As always, I do try and avoid as many spoilers as possible when doing those videos, but just a warning to everyone, I do have to talk a little bit about some of the details of the storyline just to give a background and be able to actually give you my take on the story. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the obvious, which is the covers of these volumes. They are gorgeous. I love all of the colors and the art on these volumes. They're so pretty. And it's also kind of hard to see, but there's a little detail that I love where, there you can kind of see it. Some of the parts are shiny. And I know that's not really like a big thing, but I just like that extra little detail. I think it's pretty cool. Some of the other things that I like are like the size of the volumes. They're the Viz signature volumes, so that really contributes to making the art look just a little bit better because, you know, you have bigger pictures, you can have more details. And then also on the back there, those are still like really awesome pictures that you can tell they put a lot of time into. And then on Volume 2, same thing. Like that's a pretty awesome picture too. So yeah, I really like the outside of these volumes. And then the pictures on the inside are also really awesome. The art continues to be beautiful. The characters in the world are really well drawn. And if you can see, I have post-it notes for specific things that I want to share. So the first thing that I liked was this one picture that I feel really demonstrates the like the beauty of the world that they've created and also their amazing artwork. So that's just this right here. I think that's pretty friggin' awesome. Yeah. So speaking of the world in this manga, I really like the story behind it. If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that I love fantasy settings. And so the combination of like the fantasy setting plus like this is a post-apocalyptic world, I think that makes like a really unique story and is a really interesting thing to read about. So the story is set on an island that the inhabitants have lovingly dubbed the Mud Whale. It's not my most favorite name, it's not very charming, but I would say that the story more than makes up for this. It turns out that the people of this island have existed there for like an untold amount of years, like hundreds of years, with no encounters from anyone else. Their island like floats alone on this sea of sand, and it occasionally passes like random other bits of land that have like artifacts and things from past civilizations, but they have never found another human. And then one day, our main character, this guy, goes out on a scouting mission and happens to find a girl, who's this one. Now before I get talking about these characters, there are a few more details that I just wanted to mention about the story. So one of the elements to this story is that there is magic, which they call thymia, I think is how you pronounce it. And it's really common among the people living on the island. I think it's something like, they have facts throughout the book, so I think there's like 90% of the population or something like that have this magical power, but there's actually a really big drawback to having it, which is that like when you possess this power, you have like a significantly shorter lifespan. So there's only like a very small percentage of the population that live past, I think it's like the age of 30, which is pretty interesting. So you can tell that like a lot of thought was put into the community that lives on the Mud Whale and like the backstory of how they like live and You know, they've included a lot of details about the way the culture like sustains themselves, how they grow their food, how they collect water, like the mannerisms of the people on the island and just their overall general culture, which I think is really awesome. Like I really like reading about that stuff. Maybe that's kind of strange, but it just shows that like they've really put a lot of depth into this world, and it's really interesting for me to read about it. Now I'll talk about the characters. There are actually a lot of them in this series. Like they have like the mayor-to-be, there's a couple other like attendants to the mayor. There's a group of like, you wouldn't call them outlaws, but like people that are constantly put in their version of a jail because they do things that aren't exactly okay with the rest of society, and you get to know them. There's the main character, and he has a group of friends, so like there's a crap load of people, but yet I found that the mangaka actually did a really good job of like introducing these people, and I never really got confused about who was who within these first few volumes, which was really good. And I really did grow to actually like these characters within 2 volumes. So that was something that I really enjoyed reading this story. There are like even a couple like budding romances within these first 2 volumes that I found myself cheering for, and I'm just really enjoying it so far. So yeah, our 2 main characters are the people that I pointed out before. The guy's name is Chikuro, I think is how you pronounce it, and the girl's name is Lycos. And so the guy is a really caring person, but he's seen kind of by his community as a bit of a flake. He's not really able to control his powers well. He's pretty emotional, and I think they might see him as just kind of being a little childish. Whereas on the other hand, the girl, once you meet her, is really not very friendly or caring at all. Now, to be fair, that might be due to the fact that she's held prisoner on the mud whale at first, but she does eventually warm up to Chikuro, our main guy, and overall I found myself like pretty invested in this story and characters so far, and I really can't wait to read more. I am excited for that 3rd volume to come out, and I will probably be going to the store the day it comes out to pick it up. One thing I wanted to mention is that this manga like really reminds me a lot of some of the video games I've played and the stories in those, and I found myself kind of wishing that this series would be turned into a video game. I think it would be a ton of fun to play. That's just me and a random side note. But yeah, so far this series has had me hooked after like the very first volume, and I really love the mystery of this world. I'm really excited to read more and find out like the answers to a whole bunch of questions that I have. Like, I want to know where the girl came from, and how the magic works, and why exactly does it cause a shorter lifespan, and a whole bunch of other things that I won't really bring up because of spoilers, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone. Oh, I did miss the second thing that I wanted to show you, which was when I was talking about details within the story. I think this is really cool. Like, the mangaka brings up like random note pages about like their culture. So this one is about something that the community does, and then this one here is about the magic, and like when they use it they have this aura that appears, which is what you can see on the front cover here. That's like the shiny pieces are their aura. And then finally, I do actually have one concern about this story, and that actually has to do with the author's notes at the end of both volumes so far. And that has to do with the actual creation of the story, not the manga art, but like the story itself. And so they have here like how I discovered Children of the Whales, and reading that I was like, what do you mean how you discovered it? Like, did the idea come to you? But no, it turns out that they actually purchased the story for this manga from an idea store, whatever that is. So that makes me worried, like, how much did they purchase of this story? Like, do they have the whole start to finish? Or do they have like just like bits and pieces of material, so that like once they run out, is the quality of this story suddenly going to drop? that makes me a little nervous, but I am pretty hopeful because I did some research and the story is already completed in Japan. Sorry, my dog is snoring in the background, but I'm almost done, so I'm just gonna rush through this. Yeah, the story is completed in Japan with 10 volumes total. So that being said, I feel like it should be good, and maybe they had the story already planned out before they even started drawing the manga. I mean, all that being said, I certainly plan on continuing to pick up the series and read it. These first 2 volumes are amazing, and yeah, I want more. So hopefully I've convinced some people to pick up this story and start reading it too. I think it's really awesome, and yeah, just wanted to share it with everyone else. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave me a comment down below if you can think of any other series that are similar and I might enjoy reading, or just any thoughts about the video in general. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you then. Bye!